Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. Jiujitsu2000 here today. I'm back and I've got an interesting video for you. Today I want to talk about a small stove that's one of my favorites. This is one of my go-to stoves. This is the Optimus Model 8R. So just in case you haven't seen this, this is a beautiful stove. Comes in a metal can like this. Very well protected. It's got a little latch on the front. You just lift that latch and then this stove body opens up, and then if you just kind of tilt this forward, you'll notice I carry a few things in here. I carry the key to adjust the flame. I carry an empty Bic pen, or like a straw that I use to put fuel in the priming cup. Talk about that in a second. And then I have a small lighter. So what happens is when you open this, you notice the burner moves right underneath the pots here. And this whole thing can be taken out. In fact, you just gotta kind of pull right here, just like that, and the whole burner unit comes out. Okay, so this is the fuel tank. Obviously it carries about, I would say probably 4 to 6 ounces of fuel. And underneath the stove, underneath the burner bell, you can see there's a little priming cup right here. Right here is the flame adjuster, where you turn it clockwise to turn the flame down, and counterclockwise to turn the flame up. And if you go counterclockwise all the way, you will put the jet or the needle that'll clean the jet. So you insert the fuel right here in this cap. That's where you put the fuel in. I've already filled this at the house before I came out. So one thing I want to make note of before you get started on the stove like this is when these stoves shut down after you got done using it last time and the heat of everything cools down, sometimes these tanks develop a negative pressure. So it's important before you use your stove that you open this cap up to equalize the pressure, I guess you could say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put this back in here. It just fits just right here. There's these little knocks right here. They fit corresponding on each side. It's not very hard. This is a very easy stove. It's probably going to make a liar out of me, but it's actually pretty easy to put in there. So it's just hard when you're on camera, I guess. Okay, so just like that. So it's kind of a hinge point almost. That's so cool. So what I do is I open this up, and remember the priming cup that I showed you. I'm going to take a little bit of fuel using this little straw. I'm going to just stick it down in there, and I'm going to get a little bit of fuel, and I'm going to put that fuel down into that priming cup. Just like that. It doesn't take much. And then I can put this cap back on. From here I'm going to light all of that fuel in there. You're going to see big yellow flames and stuff like that. This stove needs to prime. Okay, so you're going to see some flames here. There we go. We got it lit. Now we want to make sure that this valve is turned all the way clockwise, all the way off. And it is. Okay, so now we just let the heat up this burner bell, and it heats up this whole assembly, and that develops pressure. This stove has a wick in it, a cotton wick, and what the wick does is it just draws that fuel until you get a flow going, or the tank pressurized rather. So once you start seeing your flames look like they might start to go out, you can open this valve here a little bit and start getting your flame. You can hear that. That is so cool. It's very reminiscent of a Svea 123. That stove is beautiful, made in Sweden. If you go too much to the counterclockwise direction, you'll go to that cleaning needle and you'll lose, or your flame will go out. So that's pretty cool. there's where the cleaning needle comes in. So I'm going to go just a little bit less than that cleaning needle. Whoops, lost it again. Basically, I need to let this thing heat up. So we're going to leave that right there. I have a small clock here. I'm going to count up here. We're going to see how long it takes to boil some water. I got my little clock. Hopefully you can see that. Got my little pan here. So that stove is pretty cool. You can get a silent cap for this stove as well. Let's take a look and see where our flame is here. Right there, I think, is the best flame. I've got 16 ounces of water that I'm going to put in this pot, and we're going to get this thing up to a boil and see how long it takes. I'm going to let the camera run in real time. Okay, so this is 2 cups of water, half of a liter. We're going to let that thing run in real time and see how long it takes for this water to come to a boil. So let's set that right there on them pot supports. Put the lid on, and let's start our time. So now we're just going to chill, see what happens here. Such a cool little stove. That thing just works good. Hopefully you can see that counter there. I'm going to move the camera a little bit closer for you guys. There's that Optimus Model 8R. Such a beautiful stove. I'm looking down in here. I'm seeing the water kind of move a little bit. I'm getting excited already. These old stoves are amazing. What they can accomplish, it just blows me away. They're made so well. You can find these on eBay, and once in a while, if you're lucky, you'll find one at a good price. But most of the time they're not. They're pretty expensive. So what are we? We're at 1 minute. 1 minute, and I'm seeing a little bit of light bubbles in there. Nothing crazy. This is just one of the most beautiful classic stoves out there. Self-priming. That is so neat. Just like the Svea 123. That self-priming feature is something really cool. Kind of wish they had more stoves, current models, that would do this self-priming thing. Super cool. So there's not a lot of maintenance involved with a stove like this. It's very simple. The key just goes right through that little hole there, and you can turn the flame down or up. So I've got the flame basically on the highest setting. We are approaching 2 minutes, and I'm showing a little bit of bubbles. Nothing crazy yet. We're not boiling yet, but we're definitely getting close. I'm seeing a battery indicator on my camera, so I'm hoping that the battery will stay long enough for me to get this video shot. Just beautiful stoves. If you're coming out for, you know, an overnighter or something like that, this is a perfect little stove for stuff like that. Such a nice stove. Made out of brass and really good quality materials. I'll check at the 3-minute mark. Getting a little bit of crosswind. Got a little steam coming. I know, I'm anxious. I checked early. Like I mentioned earlier, you can get a silent cap for these. It'll make it very quiet, and you get, I think when you have those silent caps, you get even better flame control too. So we'll probably get one of those in the future for this thing. It's basically the same burner as what the Svea has. It's pretty much the same technology. Three and a half minutes. So when we get to the 4-minute mark, I'll take a look if I can be patient enough. 50 seconds. There we go. There is the 4-minute mark. Let's take a look here. And I'm seeing a little bit of bubbles going on. Nothing too crazy. I'm seeing some steam and stuff like that. So we're almost there. Pretty crazy. I really like these stoves. So much fun to work with these things. 422. So there's 4.5 minutes. Let me see if I can get this camera a little closer. Hopefully we'll be able to see more here in a second. There we go. Good angle there. 445. Let's look at that. We're at the 5-minute mark. Hopefully you can see down in there we're getting some light boiling. 5-minute mark. So it's pretty cool. That's 5 minutes in. These are just super, super cool classic stoves. I really like them a lot. This little Stanley pot holds 30 ounces of fluid. So just short of 1 liter or just short of 1 quart. 544 coming up, 545. So we're still doing good. We're almost there. We're getting close. Now I'm not trying to bore you with this video by making it long. I'm just trying to show you in real time how this thing performs out in the elements like this. Let's look at the 6-minute mark here. We're at a light rolling boil. Take a look at that. That's pretty crazy. Light rolling boil there. 6 minutes. That's crazy. And these stoves, they don't use a lot of fuel. They're pretty good at fuel efficiency. That's why the tank is so small. They work good. They just take that priming. You have to give them time to heat up and let them get going. Let everything come up to temperature. Make sure, like I said at the very beginning, that you equalize the pressure in the tank. So by taking the lid off to do the priming step, that's what helps make that happen, that step there. So 6:45, we're almost to 7 minutes, and this thing is running like a champ. In fact, let's check again. There's the 7-minute mark, and we have a light rolling boil. Pretty crazy. The thing is just awesome. I love these old stoves. They're so nice. Just classic technology in these old stoves. It's one thing that just, I love stoves, and this is definitely one of them. You can see the steam starting to come out of the holes here. So I'm guessing around 8 minutes, maybe, we'll have a good solid rolling boil. So we're 7.5 now. Let's check it at 8 minutes. Yeah, you can see there, plenty of heat in that water. Definitely working good for us. Before I take that lid off, I'm gonna give you a good view. So 7:58, let's get a better view here, and then we'll take the lid off and see what we got going on. Look at that. 8 minutes. Wow, check that out. That is a very good, nice rolling boil. Let me stop this timer. That is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And of course, let me show the simmering capability of the stove. You can turn this baby down to a birthday candle all the way up to a rocket. The flame control is amazing. That's just such a beautiful stove. Look at that little flame there. You can go even smaller, and it's really sunny out, so you might not have a very good chance of seeing the flame, but it does, trust me, it is still lit. It's just, if you wanted to simmer some stew or something like that, you can really choose what kind of flame you want. So look at that. Amazing. 8 minutes. Now, of course, the modern stoves, you'll boil 1 liter in 3.5 minutes, but this thing is old technology and it's been around a long time, and it's one of those tried and true designs that just keeps running. This is like the old tank, it never dies. Thing just works. Sometimes I wish that it wouldn't run right so I could say it has a problem, but that never happens. The thing just runs. And before I put this thing away, before I stow it, I like to add a little bit of fuel. So let me just fill that baby up with some fuel. It didn't take much fuel to do that little bit of boil. From there, we'll just make sure the burner head is nice and cool to the touch. And then we'll put the stove away. And again, it just hinges in just like that. I spilt a little fuel there, didn't I? So we'll just set that baby in there, something like that. And then this little straw just kind of goes there. That's my priming straw. Put this here. And then of course, this top closes and it clasps down and it packs away very nice, very clean. You can throw this in your pack and it'll be ready to go next time you get it out, and you're plenty full of fuel. If you were curious about this fuel bottle, this is the Trangia. So if you want to see more information about this fuel bottle, I'll do a video about this in the near future, so stay tuned for that. And again, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and please feel free to leave your comments down below, like this video, share this video, and as always, thank you for stopping by. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time. Later. Go out there and get you an Optimus Model 8R. You won't be disappointed. They're really good stoves. Later.